You'll figure it out. So Friday, July 17th, new piece of public land. We're gonna be scouting today. It's a lake down south of where we're living at, and it's pretty much only accessible by boat and kind of looking on Onyx and stuff. We're only looking for places that really don't have any road access, places that we know isn't gonna get a lot of pressure. Something like this, obviously you have to get in here on boat. We came in on the boat.
It's all landlocked up.
Yeah, it's landlocked up, so it goes into woods here to the top, and on one side there's a field that's private, and it's planted. We don't know if it's what's planted up there, beans or corn or what. And then there's a piece of woods that's public in between that, and on the other side of that is a good thick bedding area that we saw aerial-wise, but we couldn't really tell what it looked like. So the best thing to do is get boots on the ground, obviously. And so we're gonna hike up there. Onyx is saying we got about 800-yard walk. So we're gonna get up there, we're gonna kind of scout it around. What our main goal for this little piece is, it looks like it's gonna be good for good buck bedding. And then on the east side of it is the thick woods. It's a good hard woods. It looks like there's a nice edge on the side of it. It's a good transition area. And the best thing about that is the prevailing wind around here is usually a northwest wind. So they're going to be sitting in that bedding area with the wind at their back looking into the woods. But if we come in quiet enough and early enough when it's still dark, I think we'll be able to get set up and be all right. And I think throughout the day they're going to make their way into those woods and over to that field at some point and try and catch them in between. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hike up this. It looks like it's drainage right here. We're probably going to get to the left of it. That way we can kind of come up towards where the field is and just see if there's any good routes going up, any good deer trails. So we're gonna hike up that and see what happens.
Yeah, let's go. What is that?
Well, we're starting to get up here towards the top a little more, and I kind of followed a drainage up. Jack kind of came up to the side of it. He was on a pretty good deer trail, he said. He saw a bunch of sign. Well, getting up here towards where we're at now, we got big oaks. I mean, the ground's all tore up here, not only from deer but other animals, but it's a good sign. I mean, there's acorns everywhere on the ground. I mean, they're dropping as we're talking, just old acorns obviously because the new ones are still coming in. But getting up here towards this field, and it's a good sign. That means that they're probably going to be coming in through here on their way down to get water. I mean, this drainage is the only water that's around here, and there's a bunch of sign going down through the water. I mean, there's tracks going all through it, and they're for sure coming down here to get a drink. But I think once we get up here towards the top, I mean, we probably only got another 200 yards, but I think they're going to be transitioning through this little staging area in the woods. And at the same time, I think there's going to be a bunch of trails coming down through the drain too, down towards the lake. But we'll just have to see when we get up there, I guess. All right, so we just got up here to the top of this gully, drainage, whatever you want to call it. The field's over here that's planted, private land. I mean, we're probably only 35 yards from the private. We got lucky, there's beans planted out there, which is good. And it got real thick up here towards the top of this drainage, and about, I don't know, maybe 150 yards, 200 yards that way is the thick bedding area that we saw on the aerial maps. but we haven't gotten over there yet. We stopped up here to get a drink. I mean, it's super hot out. Just kind of want to go over like what we do, what we bring out here when we're doing a scout here in the summertime. I mean, it's pretty hot, so obviously drinks, Gatorade, electrolytes, stay hydrated.
Definitely off next time.
Off for sure. We didn't bring bug spray, forgot it. We both got packs. I just decided to go with a little camel pack, Coleman or whatever you want to call it this time. And in there I just got a knife, some paracord, carabiners, water, a rangefinder. I like to judge distances, find trees that I might hunt out of, judge distances. I didn't bring any trail cameras just because it's kind of far and I don't plan on putting a camera up here. And I really don't have any to spare because I have a bunch of private land that I hunt as well. That's pretty much it for my bag. I don't know, Jack, what you got?
I'm light today, but I got my binos, camera stand. When we hang stands in public, we usually bring our quick sticks. And just my binos, that's about it today.
Yeah, binos, that's another thing. I didn't bring any because I don't have any right now. Next week I'm probably going to go buy some new ones. Been looking at some Vortexes. Vortex is a good brand. Jack's got Vortex. I got a bunch of Vortex scopes. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, we just got up here to the top. We've seen pretty good sign. I mean, down in those big oaks, it looked like there's some good bedding on the sides of the bigger oaks. With the wind coming off of their back, and they're looking down over this ravine, seeing if anything's coming, so they can smell what's behind them and see what's in front of them. That's just kind of what that looked like. But we're gonna keep going over this way a little more and see what happens, I guess.
How many acre plot was this?
I believe this piece that we're on is 300. I don't know. I don't have service. No service up here to get on Onyx, but
105 acres.
105. I was thinking of a different one. So this one's 105 acres, but it's landlocked. I mean, you got private on 3 sides, which is actually only two private owners, but it's 3 sides. So it's kind of like a plateau, and then the water's on the other side. So it's landlocked pretty good. Where we parked, we were kind of sketchy at first because we saw 4-wheeler tracks, but that drainage that we started walking up right off the boat actually turns into private and goes out to that bedding area, and that's why we saw the 4-wheeler tracks. I think that they might even be like taking a boat or a kayak down there on the 4-wheeler, and that's how they get to the lake from where they're at. So we kind of hopped off that. We didn't want to be trespassing. Jumped over here on this drainage and just walked up this drainage, and now we're sitting up here about to head over to that bedding and
check the bedding out.
See what we're getting ourselves into. I mean, it could be a shot in the dark. I mean, obviously it's a shot in the dark, but it could be a bust. You never know, but you don't know until you get boots on the ground. So we're gonna finish up here and walk over there and show you guys what's going on.
Yep.
They just started walking through kind of this area right here, and I mean, we just stood up from where we were sitting, and there's rubs everywhere. I mean, there's another one on this tree. There's 2 back there, and this is leading straight to where that bedding is. So I think we're on to something here. So, all right, so we just crossed over the little ravine down here, the water, the drainage, and we rolled up to this, and I'm in a good sized buck bed right here. There's one right here in this sunlight. Jack's standing in one. I'll walk over there and show you guys that one. But this is exactly what I was talking about. Bedding on the side of this drainage so that they can see what's down in that drainage and smell what's behind them. I mean, that's fresh.
We got some more trees tore up from last year.
I mean, there's old rubs on these trees here. And if we keep walking this way, that leads out to that bedding that we're talking about. I mean, it's getting so thick in here. We just came from over there. That's where the bean field is. So we're definitely into some bedding here. We're gonna keep walking through this. Looks like a pretty new stand of growth of trees. So we're gonna keep walking that way. Alright, so that tree that I just showed you is a good looking cherry tree. And the reason I showed you it is because we just walked from that bedding area that we showed you. They had all those beds. And we walked down, I mean, like the most plain Jane, like beaten down deer trail out of there. And like the craziest part about it is it's literally doing exactly what I knew they were gonna do. Sorry, spider web. But look at this trail. I mean, they're coming straight out of that bedding area. And the bean field's over on the other side of it. And it's coming down through here. I mean, there's tracks all down it. And this is leading straight to that bedding area. And the reason I showed you that tree again is I added a waypoint on Onyx. And I think that tree is going to be a good tree to put a stand in. Come in here in the morning, put a stand in on it that day. We're going to keep walking down this good deer trail here and see where it takes us. But I know it's going to go straight to that bedding area. So we haven't jumped any deer yet, which it's expected. I mean, I didn't think we were going to really jump much in here. But their sign, I mean, it's definitely going to be a good spot. So.
I'll walk that, check it.
So this trail that I just showed you goes out into that opening. And this is like the point of an opening, and it's kind of like a triangle. It starts right here and then fans out down towards the lake. We're about as close as we can get without getting onto private. And from right here, it doesn't look really promising for a bedding area, but you can tell on the maps that it gets a lot thicker down in through there. So this is about as far as we can go, but this trail looks really nice. And in here, it really opens up, like where Jack said. I mean, any of these trees would be a good spot for a stand. We're gonna kind of follow this drainage down this way and kind of loop back towards where that cherry and that trail goes towards the bean field, just to try and find a good route to get up here to hunt. So we're gonna start heading our way back down there and show you guys along. Live. Alright, so kind of sum things up. We didn't really check many spots except this. I guess this was the only spot we really checked, but
Yeah.
so we kind of pulled the boat in here. We looked at this place on Onyx, like I was talking about earlier before we kind of got here, and it was kind of a landlocked area with field on one side, hardwoods in the middle, and thick cover on the other. Thick cover as in no woods, but just like fields and thickets. And just prior knowledge, knowing that when you have an area like that, you got those three things, it's gonna be a good spot. I mean, there's a good transition area through those hardwoods. There's obviously gonna be food in the hardwoods if you got good oaks, which will produce good acorns. They'll eat foliage all day long. So we kind of hiked up a drainage on the left side of it. Got up there. We wanted to see what the field was, and we saw the field was beans. And after we saw there was beans, we kind of headed towards the bedding area. And me and Jack walked kind of on different trails. You walked down below me.
Mm-hmm.
I walked up high, and Jack, I mean, you can tell them about the bedding that we found in the woods there.
It's pretty much just like a maze. They got beds everywhere. You got about two hard trails that went through the middle of it, and you watched everything break off from there. But like I said, everywhere you stepped, just beds and tore up trees.
Yeah, there was a lot of buck beds there in the woods. It was obviously a new growth, new timber, a bunch of saplings, and they're mostly poplars. There were some maples in there, but mostly poplars, and they were no bigger than 3 inches round.
Yeah.
But after we got through there, we kind of just kept following that trail, and I mean, sure enough, it led right out to that bedding area. Well, I call it a bedding area. I mean, who knows if they're actually bedding out there, but being that thick, I'm sure they're grazing and maybe taking bedding out there in the afternoons and whatnot. But we walked back down. I tracked it on Onyx. It's about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, which isn't as far as I thought it was going to be, but it's still up there. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to get much pressure. Maybe those private guys are going to be on there, but I think that's about as good as we're going to get for right here.
Didn't see much sign of other people in there, so.
No, yeah, definitely.
Hopefully.
But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, kind of just took you along our scouting procedures, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.